Hey guys, welcome for the reaction video, and I am finally actually doing these. They made the last one like this one a couple of months ago, and I am so excited for me doing this. To think that this video the only one that I reacted to was over four, no, it's like maybe four, maybe six. I'm not too sure. It was at least 4 months ago that I uploaded that video, and I think the channel has been around for that long is kind of insane in my opinion. But as Christmas is getting closer and every single thing's happening, we have finally been let loose of school. Exams have stopped doing or stopped happening, and I don't have any other tests I have to do, so I'm happy. But at the end of the week, my math teacher decided to make it to where we had a project to do, and me and my friend were so in such in a bad place because I decided to pick the most detailed Batman drawing that we've ever drawn before. For anyone who's an artist, we suck at it. Don't judge us. But for us, it was very detailed, and it took us pretty much 1.5 days. I think like maybe 3 hours to do it in total. So, but today we finally got finished, and my mom said I can skip the rest of the week. So I'm very happy about this happening. So we maybe skip the rest of the week. I might be able to pump out a video every day, maybe ish. Depends on if I have anything to do, because I do know that we're going to be going out of town this weekend to go do a few things. So might not make a video then, but might maybe upload a video on Sunday that weekend. I'm too sure. Definitely not gonna be a video on Christmas Eve or Christmas because it's a holiday. So I mean, like, who's gonna watch these videos on Christmas? I mean, like, come on, you guys should be opening your presents. But with that long rant out of the way, we can finally get into the reaction. And again, NordVPN is here. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah, before we do it real quick, if you guys want me to do more videos like this one, like how to beat and a few other videos that I used to do, please tell me down. Please tell me down in the comments down below because I really do like those. And I think that I did see that Game Theory was streaming, so there might be a new FNAF world coming out in a couple of days. So I might react to that as well. Other than that, don't have really much reaction material. I think I have a few other videos that I should react to that I haven't really remember right now. We'll find that down the road. But no further ado, just go and get his reaction. Sorry, in 3, 2, 1, play.
This video was made possible by NordVPN.
It always
Click the link
is.
below to stay safe online and get a huge discount off a 2-year plan with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Trouble sleeping? Need someone to snuggle? Then why not snuggle? Me! The limited edition Oversimplified plushie is available for pre-order for a few days only.
No, I'm
Get
not
quick
shocked
along
I
with some
made
beautiful
this.
new character pins.
Wait. Okay, so I know a little bit about history. Like I understand, like I've studied World War II a little bit like that, so I know a little bit about it. It's not like it's like depth. Like I can go like into depth about one subject about how this happened or that happened, but I know the basics of how the war happened, how it began, how it stopped, stuff like that. Like basically almost everyone knows, but I know it more than that, slightly more than that. But I have never in my life heard of the pig war. It sounds a little bit familiar. Might have read it in something. I don't know too sure. Maybe someone told me about it. But I have honestly never studied it or even heard of it in detail. So let's see how this one happens.
Along with some beautiful
This video is pretty
new
long
character
too,
pins.
so.
Look at us.
Okay, so we're going back like during like the Civil War or stuff like that. Maybe a little bit before that, not before Civil War, right? Probably right after the Revolutionary War. I cannot freaking talk because those stars are in a circle, meaning that it was before the star thing was made, meaning that we had 50 states. I'm guessing like. Yep, 13. So the 13 colonies are still there. So we haven't even exit the freaking Mexican. What's it freaking called? Like, what's like the Spanish? I think it was the Spanish American, yeah, Spanish American War that happened, not the Mexican American War. Why am I freaking say? I don't know, but it was the Spanish American War. So we haven't hit that because we would have Florida by then, I think at least. Because yeah, so we are very weird at naming wars, aren't we? Because we have like the pig war is a very weird name. Most has something to do specifically about a pig. All right, let's see. I'm sorry for interrupting so much. But let's just do this.
Boys, we've only gone and bloody done it. We beat the Brits and
Yeah.
secured independence.
Okay, so we're
Now
going
to
Revolutionary
expand
War.
westward and conquer the rest of the continent.
Okay, so we're starting to
Thomas,
do
it
that.
looks like a bunch of different people already live out west. What? Oh no, that means we can't expand. I hate my life. Whoa. I didn't say they were white people.
Oh, that's brutal, but he's not wrong. Our mentality back then was very messed up. Very messed up. We legitimately just ran the Indians out of Oklahoma, Nevada, California, all of those places. We just ran them out of and moved them westward, or like in that case, northwestward. But man, and you had the freaking like the what was it called? The Indian Trail? No, it was something else. Oh, forget. I can't remember that. It was pretty much a trail of like where the Indians would move through Oklahoma, I think, and they would move westward. I forgot the name. If you guys know the name of that trail, please tell me in the comments. But I studied in history class. I freaking forgot it though. The one thing I actually like about history is learning about. I didn't. We're gonna say about the title, but really, guys, really, flags, and lightsabers, and guns, and really, you had to do that. It's smart. It's pretty smart. Good play on their part. Good play on their part.
At the end of the Revolutionary War, when the United States secured its independence from Great Britain,
Yeah.
the two sides met in Paris to settle the terms. Among various things, they discussed American territorial gains, and the British granted them a generous amount of land out west. However, Benjamin Franklin appeared to have an additional fascination. Oh, Canada. So voluptuous. You think we can maybe acquire some of that? Quit ogling our territory. But look at those curves. I'd worry less about
Oh, Franklin, stop. That's weird.
Canada's curves, and more about your own curves, Benjamin.
Oh, got him.
Many in America suggested that one day the Canadian colonies should become a part of the United States. In response, Britain suggested that many in America should shut the hell up. Well, if Britain wasn't going to give
Ow.
up Canada, then the two sides had to agree on where to put their border. Easy enough for the most part. Follow some existing borders, add in a few rivers and lakes, maybe even a parallel for good measure. But then there was a question. What would happen here? Straight line, straight line. And so it was. The border would go from the northwesternmost point of this perfectly oval shaped
Is that
lake and continue in a
actually?
straight
Kind of
line
lie.
westward.
That's actually a pretty oval shaped lake. I just had like a brain fart of like how lakes are formed. Now I realize they're formed by erosion, so I'm just dumber at that point. But wow, I think the erosion like legit just made an oval in the earth and made this over here. Isn't this not here the Great Lake over here? I think. I'm not sure what this one's called. I forgot.
Until it met the Mississippi River. Perfect.
Oh, the Mississippi River goes up that far. Holy crap! I didn't think it went up that far. Oh, okay. Wow. It legitimately goes from the bottom of the United States all the way up to the point to where it's almost, I'd say, maybe at least 1/8 the way up in Canada. And it goes back down a little bit. But sheesh. No wonder it's like the second largest river in the entire world. Only second to the Amazon, which makes sense.
Or was it? Well, as it turned out, the lake didn't actually look like this, but like this. And the Mississippi wasn't
Really?
here, but here. So in the end, none
Oh,
of that made even
okay.
the slightest bit of
So I was
sense.
wrong there.
Don't blame the founding fathers. They were just using the best map available. blame the guy who made it. But to the minds of the day, the issue had been solved, and it was finally time to start getting along. Oh, back to war they go.
Yep. Early America and early Canada legitimately hated each other. Like, to the point where it was almost a personal level. Oh, man. We hated Canada back then. And I guess it was just sort of just like territory and something like that, but sheesh.
The Glorious War of 1812 saw the Americans try to invade Canada, and the British burn down the White House. But when all was said and done, it was pretty much a draw.
I never seen that one before. I never the British actually burnt down the White House once. Okay, this game's actually pretty cool, but I never played it before. Don't have a PC to play it.
And once again, America and Britain had to enter into peace negotiations. By now, both sides realized the original border they came up with was a piece of hot garbage. And since America had also recently obtained a huge amount of land from Napoleon,
yeah, losing and purchase, yeah.
Issue. Straight line. And so it was. To fix the problems of the previous border agreement, they decided to go from the northwesternmost point of this lake, as had been previously agreed, down to the 49th parallel, and from there the line would go straight as an arrow up until the Rocky Mountains. But beyond the Rockies, the two sides couldn't quite agree on where it would go next, because both sides claimed the territory beyond the Rockies was
Oregon
theirs.
Trail, yeah.
See, throughout its early history, America as a nation had its eyes heavily fixated on all that juicy land out west, ripe for invasion. I mean, settlementation. America wanted to expand. Not only was it their right,
okay, that was pretty good right there.
A destiny given to them by God Himself to multiply and spread across the continent like rats or disease.
When manifestation, we were very fascinated with that. Back in like the 1800s, very fascinated with that. Are we nowadays? I don't really think we are nowadays. Not too sure. Who knows?
Okay, guys, just before we take over everything, God definitely said this is what we're meant to do, right? Yeah, that's what He said. Isn't that what He said? And who was it who spoke to God? It was Billy, right? I thought it was Sharon's cat. I hear voices all the time. Well, it was one of us. There's no way we made this whole thing up to justify ruthless collective imperialist tendencies. All right. Well, in that case, let's get out there.
Y'all are all hypocrites right now.
Place, just as God intended.
Oh my! Did they have why is that freaking black? Why is there Black Hawks? Why do they have Tommies? Why do they have Tommy guns? One has an Uzi. I think I can't see the back of it. Why do they don't have some machine? Why is there McDonald's? What? Trains? I get that. The Black Hawks? What? McDonald's? What? And the Tommy SMGs. How? I don't think we made the first repeating gun until, like, I don't know, 1850? That was a pistol, I think, too. Not too sure.
This belief in divinely destined expansion would later be given its very own name. Manifest Destiny.
Yeah.
But America wasn't the only one interested in controlling the Western territories. At the time, Canada was made up of a number of colonies, collectively referred to as British North America. This one over here was owned by the Hudson's Bay Company, a British charter company dedicated to turning as many beavers as possible into as many felt hats as possible as quickly as possible, and the indigenous people became a key supplier. As a result, the British were also eager to control the land out west and secure that region's valuable resources, and in particular, the Great Columbia River was deemed vital to the beaver business. So when it came to the question of what would happen to the border beyond the Rockies, the conversation went a little like this. The line should keep going straight because we're manifestly destined to gain the entire North American continent. No, we need this river so we can keep scalping beavers. Look, why don't we just draw the border along the river? That way we both have access to it. Well, that would be a completely fair compromise that protects the interests of both parties. And there's no way I'm ever going to agree to it! Having come to a roadblock,
I mean, he's not wrong.
They would jointly occupy the Northwestern Territory. They were both free to settle and trade there. But rest assured, the agreement was only temporary. Eventually somebody would get their way. Listen, Yank, we can jointly occupy this land, but I ain't sharing anything else. I don't want to see you using my toothbrush. I don't want to catch you wearing my underwear. And I don't want to catch you using my computer and selling my data to advertisers. Well, then you, my friend, should use NordVPN. What the fuck? Do you like it when strangers are passwords to your list of online accounts?
He's like, what the?
Me neither. And that's why I use NordVPN. NordVPN has thousands of secure servers in over 60 countries, allowing you to safely surf the net at the fastest speed possible. It works across all
wait, I gotta read that again.
countries, allowing you to safely surf the net.
Your connection is so safe.
At the fastest
Who the hell are you?
speed possible.
I haven't seen you in my life.
All your devices, so you're protected on the go. Even 6 of them simultaneously.
Ooh.
And it's super easy to use. With just a click of a button, you can head on over to South Korea and watch every single BTS video known to mankind. With NordVPN, you no longer need to worry about those shady websites, annoying pop-ups, or undesired eyes spying on your browsing history. And you can even unlock content that's been blocked in pop-ups or undesired.
This one right here. Oh, wait. Oh, these are funny, actually. Cats wearing clothes. Really. Mark. That one right there. That one's good. That one's really good. Oversimplified. That's good.
Spying on your browsing history, and you can even unlock content that's been blocked in your country.
Oh, I thought that video was blocked. I'm like, what? What just happened? What?
This video. It even comes with a 30-day. Even unlock content that's been blocked in your country. Like this video.
Okay, that makes sense for a few countries. That makes sense for a few countries, but it's not blocked here.
It even comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So why not go to nordvpn.com/oversimplified to get a 2-year plan with a huge discount, plus an additional month for free.
Wow.
And as always,
that's a really good deal.
Supporting my channel. So thank you. Now where were we? Oh yeah. Bickering over boundaries, manifesting destiny.
I wonder if the person who does the voices also does the art, because they are a really good narrator as well as a really good animator as well.
And a joint occupation of Oregon.
Oh my God.
And one man living here who felt the territory should be British was James Douglas, the Hudson's Bay Company's no-nonsense chief factor at Fort Vancouver. Ah, what a beautiful, unspoiled corner of the British Empire. I've got my spotted dick, my Spice Girls fan club membership, and an unrelenting negative outlook on life that affects everyone around me. What are you looking at, Stephen? Yes, truly British.
Wow.
What the? The problem for men like Douglas was that many Americans had already begun streaming up the Oregon Trail. Gunslinging, howdy neighboring, diarrhea having. By the thousands, they were pouring into the Oregon Territory in search of land to settle and farm. This, however, crowded out the fur trade, and eventually, a very bitter Douglas and the other Hudson's Bay traders at Fort Vancouver were ordered to relocate north to a new base of operations. But the
Fort
Americans
Victoria.
keep coming and they don't stop coming. Hopped in their wagons and they hit the ground running. Didn't make sense to keep sharing Oregon when they outnumbered the Brits more than 6-1. And suddenly, the whole joint occupation deal was being called into question. Newly elected President Polk maintained that America had an obvious claim to the entire region, even implying a possible war with Britain.
Never heard him as the president at all.
Senators declared that American rifles would annihilate the Hudson's Bay Company in Oregon, and America even gave Britain notice that it was pulling out of the joint occupation agreement. The British were alarmed as the two sides stood on the brink of war. But in the end, neither truly wanted to fight. The British favored maintaining good economic relations, while the Americans had already gotten themselves into a war with Mexico.
Yeah.
So after a bit of back and
having stuff on two fronts is sort of a bad idea. Yeah. Someone already learned that one the hard way. But also, especially going against like the Spanish Empire at that point too, because Spain was one of the biggest empires at that point, only like second to maybe third to like Britain and America. So trying to battle two global superpowers at that point, and at once would leave your supply lines pretty thin, as well as your assets, your soldiers are pretty thin as well.
Back and forth, the British finally said, "Fine, You wanted a straight line? There's your straight line. And so, the agreement was made. The border would continue directly to the Strait of Georgia. But because the British insisted they keep Vancouver Island, it would then move south through the center of the channel and on to the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, so
Finally,
that's
the
where that little
issue
dip
of the
that's where
northwest
that little
border
dip
had
goes.
been solved. Hold the phone. Discrepancy detected. Enhance frame, 200%. Enhance. Enhance. Oh, too far. Perfect. Now, show me the exact wording of the treaty. The line of boundary goes to the middle of the channel, and thence southerly through the middle of said channel? But there's loads of channels. So, you tell me, dear viewer, which channel is the treaty referring to?
I think this one, because it goes and it's like the more middle one. I mean, that'll make the most sense to me.
And therefore, who owns these islands? Is the wording of the treaty maybe a little too vague? Well, that's exactly the problem encountered by the people living in the area. The British insisted that the channel intended by the treaty was the Rosario Strait, and therefore the islands were British. The Americans, on the other hand, argued that the intended channel was the Harrow
Is this where
Strait,
the war
and
comes
therefore
into play
the
at this
islands were
point?
American. At times, the debate became
They're fighting
rather
over
heated.
things that
Even
are
the
so dumb. It's an island.
It's time to give
Just
you
split it
free
in
stuff
half.
thanks to our friends at Honey. That's right, you could win a $5,000 computer just by adding...
Even the individuals who negotiated and signed the treaty at times didn't seem entirely sure which channel the treaty meant, and representatives from the Hudson's Bay Company begged them to make it clearer. But thousands of miles away, the people in power simply had more to worry about than some tiny islands in the middle of nowhere. Order! Order! Shut up! All right, listen up. We got a lot to
That's a way to get your I'm guessing that's his court. I'm guessing his court. Their attention. His
The
attention.
7th Earl of Chissingham says he encountered a foul beast in the fields of Upper Fardingdom late last night and put this sketch together. That's a poor person, Darren. Ugh. Next, Lord Piddlingham says he has a new mole on his backside. How is that parliamentary business, George? Oh, some islands in the Pacific Northwest are in dispute and could lead to a war with America? Boring. Fine. Let's take a look at that mole, George. And so, for now, the islands were simply held in dispute. Were they British or were they American? I'm sure this conflict won't cause anyone to die. And one man who thought the islands were undeniably British
I've never
was
even
James
heard of these
Douglas,
islands
now
before
the
at all.
governor of Vancouver Island. He had already once had American settlers encroach on his territory and force him to move. And by golly, he wasn't going to let it happen again. As far as he was concerned, those islands were not only British, but prime agricultural land. And given the chance, those glubby Yanks wouldn't hesitate to start pitching flags with their glubby little hands. And so, he came up with a plan. If the British settled the islands first, then that would surely secure them for Britain. And so in 1853, Douglas sent an Irishman by the name of Charles Griffin, along with some Hawaiian shepherds, to go set up a sheep farm on San Juan Island.
Hawaii?
And set up a sheep farm. They did.
So they already discovered
The
Hawaii.
place was rammed with sheep, 1,369 to be exact. But within those flocks of woolly cowards could also be found a number of beautiful, prized Berkshire pigs. Oh, Porky, you look stunning. You're the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Would you perhaps like to go to the island bowl together tonight? Oink once for no. Roll around in that cow crap if yes. Yes! I'm covered in poo and I'm the luckiest man alive! But life on the island for Charles Griffin wasn't to be a perfect paradise of pig pageants. Because unfortunately for him, the Americans also believed the island was theirs. One day, in 1854, an American customs collector was sailing around the islands on the outlook for bands of native tribesmen when he spotted something. Aha! I've got you now, you savages. Over yonder. Those are sheep, sir. Sheep, you say? What are they doing here? Let's go and negotiate with them. Negotiate with sheep? Are you crazy? I'm perfectly stable, you rat bag. Call me crazy again and I'll eat your eyes! Hello, good sir. We request to speak with your leader. Out of my way. Allow me to parley with this foul beast. Hey, stop! threatening my sheep. Your sheep? You mean
He actually talked to them. What?
to tell me that you, a British subject, have illegally imported these sheep into American territory? I'll have you know that you, an American, are currently trespassing on British territory. The Americans felt that they were entitled to collect taxes on the British property, because the island was American, and they threatened seizure if dues weren't paid. The British, meanwhile, threatened to arrest the Americans, because the island was British, and the two sides were in a standoff. To give Charles Griffin the legal power to deal with the American trespassers, Douglas said, "Hey,
really
put on this wig." Boom, you're a magistrate now. And in turn, Griffin went to one of his Hawaiian shepherds and said, "Hey, I'm making you a constable. Put on this badge." The British then went off to arrest the U.S. Customs inspector. But, being an American, he emerged from his tent with 4 pistols and a giant knife. So the Brits had to back down.
He came out gun swinging.
Actually, raids by northern tribes chased the U.S. officer from the island. But the Americans weren't done yet. Officials from nearby Whatcom County
what do they have
Washington
in store now?
believed the island fell under their jurisdiction, and they decided it was time to make the British pay up once and for all. They sent one Sheriff Barnes to go confront Charles Griffin.
Okay.
Hey, you owe us $80.33 for all this farm stuff you got here. Go suck an egg. Oh.
I thought like transfers like maybe, I don't know, a few hundred nowadays. Maybe a few thousand. I'm not sure how that money would. Not really sure how that would really work out.
I see. So that's how it is, huh? That's how it's gonna be, is it? That's the way in which things are, eh? That be how it will, is it? Will it be how that is?
How many phrases does he have? That's just this. It's the exact same meaning. How many phrases does he have?
Huh? That be the way in which things be the way they are, is that? Get off my property! So the sheriff and other Whatcom County officials
He had so many of
were
them.
well within their rights to seize and auction off Griffin's sheep in order to recoup lost taxes. And who would they auction these prized breeding rams off to? But themselves. Then, in a pretty chaotic scene, they worked to tie the rams to their boats. And when Charles Griffin came running to rescue his kidnapped sheep, being Americans, they pulled out guns on him, and he had to back down. In all, Charles Griffin
Again,
lost 34
they went out
breeding
gun
rams,
swinging.
and he was furious. The British complained to the American government, who were shocked to hear what had been going on at their northwest border. And both governments told their officials in the area to back off. We're not trying to start a major war over some dumb sheep and a stupid island. But also, the islands are definitely ours. Under no circumstances let the other side have them. For now, both governments agreed to set up yet another boundary commission to decide which channel was the correct border. But it often devolved into petty bickering. The British did make one interesting suggestion, though. We could draw the border through this middle channel and split the islands.
Exactly.
Well, that would be a completely fair compromise that protects the interests of both parties. And there's no way I'm ever going to agree to it! And in the aftermath of the shipwreck,
Now he got an AK.
James
Nice.
Douglas, still stationed at Fort Victoria, became even more cautious of American encroachment into his territory. Mr. Douglas, sir, it appears an Indian has discovered gold in the Fraser Canyon, just north of here. Shut up! Keep your voice down, boy. We can't risk those glubby Americans hearing about this, or our territory here will be infested with them. Oh no!
His face, though.
Oh no!
Poor person. I forgot your name. Oh, I love this game. It looks so good, but I can't play it. Ah.
I was a minor, and I was really tired of getting blown up by people all the time.
Alright, skip out.
The Fraser Canyon Gold Rush attracted a heap of Americans to the region. Some got lucky. Most did not. And of those that didn't, rather than returning all the way home, many simply decided to settle in the area. And in particular, the juicy green pastures of San Juan Island were rather appealing. Believing the island was American territory, around a dozen American settlers moved there in the late 1850s. One of them was a man named Lyman Cutler, a young man in his mid-20s, and lazy as pie. He didn't want to have to clear a space in the forest to build his home, so he said, I'll just build my cabin right in the middle of this British sheep run. I'm sure that won't make anyone mad. When he planted potato seeds in his garden, rather than building a nice protective fence around them, he said, I'll just fence in 3 sides and hope all these British farm animals have a moral compass and respect my property rights. Griffin's pig was a Berkshire, well known for rooting, and Lyman's fairly pathetic fence made for a bad combination. Numerous times he had to chase the pig away from his property, and he once angrily marched up to Griffin's home, saying, Hey, British farm idiot, keep your stupid pig out of my potatoes. It is up to you to keep your potatoes out of my pig. Griffin was furious with his new
he
marriage.
really said that.
Keep your potatoes out of my pig.
Allegedly. He allegedly said that.
Griffin was furious with his new American neighbors. They built their homes all over his sheep pastures. And besides, what right did they have to be here anyway? It was British territory. Lyman, on the other hand, swore the local
I see a
government
pattern
had assured
happening
him his
here.
land claims were legitimate, and so to him, the British were out of line. Look at that sick freak. In love with his pig. Isn't that just sick? Yeah, what a freak. Not like our love, Spuddy. Ours is all natural. Yeah, just a man and his potato.
Ugh.
Nothing wrong with that.
Ugh.
But the tension
Ugh.
between Lyman and Griffin was just about to
that's-
explode.
That's worse than the pig.
What the?
Sounds like minions.
Spuddy? All right, you damn dirty pig. That's the final straw.
Yep. Oh, the animation though.
Lyman,
The animation
Shot the
though. That's
pig.
awesome.
after taking a second to calm
Wait, what?
down, shot the pig.
Ooh.
After taking a second to calm down, he felt bad about murdering Griffin's prized boar. So he went to him and said, Hey man, look, I kinda just killed your pig. It was eating my potatoes again, and I don't know, man, I kinda just killed your pig. Killed your pig. Killed your pig.
His face. The entire.
You swine! No, the swine is the one I killed. I'm Lyman.
He is strangling the man. He is beating the ever-loving crap out of the man.
$100 for the loss of the pig, an outrageous sum at the time. Obviously, Lyman refused, threatening to shoot any more animals that dared enter his property, even threatening to shoot Griffin himself. When Griffin complained to James Douglas, British officials went and confronted the pig killer. Again, they insisted he pay up, and if he didn't, Lyman claimed they threatened to arrest him and take him back to Victoria. British officials arresting an American on American soil and trying him under British law? Now that's controversial. And it's a controversy
True.
that attracted the attention of an American general in charge of the Department of Oregon, one William S. Harney. This
That
guy,
sounds familiar.
General Harney, had a reputation. He's the kind of guy who invades Mexico without orders, wasting valuable resources and creating an embarrassing situation for everyone involved. He's the kind of guy who has one of his own men arrested for writing the wrong header on a report. He's the kind of guy who finds a dog digging up his yard and then chases it for 1.5 miles just to give it a beating.
Wait,
Hated
really?
superiors, hated being told what to do, and had been court-martialed 4 times for disobeying orders. Contemporaries described him as an imbecile, all matter and no mind, an arrogant humbug, and a laughingstock. Like I said, General Harney had a reputation. He hated
Not
the
a good
British
one.
and was out
It's
for any
reputation.
opportunity to earn personal glory for himself. By some accounts, he even wanted to become president. And so, in July
Really?
1859, when he happened to visit San Juan Island, and he learned of the plight of the Americans living there, the shooting of a pig, and the British threat to arrest Lyman Cutler, General Harney went into scheme mode. Hey yo, Captain Pickett. Yes, sir.
He's-
Listen carefully. I need you to go pick up some flowers and bring them to my place later. I've got a plan. Here I am, sir. What's the plan? Pickett, you and I are going to start a war. What do you mean, sir? Okay, listen up. An American man shoots a worthless pig on San Juan Island, and the British threaten to arrest him. Outrageous. But we can use it. We get the settlers there to send us a petition saying they need American troops for protection. That's when you go with your men and occupy the island. The British will find American troops on an island they consider theirs so offensive, they won't hesitate to blow you to smithereens. Then, it's war. We bring in reinforcements, and we fight back. I'll write to Washington, D.C., letting them know what's happening. But here's the kicker. My letter will take 6 whole weeks to get there, before the government even gets a chance to respond, telling me I'm an idiot and ordering me to cease fire. The island will be ours. Hell, we could even invade Vancouver Island, or British Columbia. It's foolproof. Wow, very impressive, sir. But I gotta ask, why? Well, I'll level with you, Pickett. Historians still contest exactly what it is I'm trying to do here. It's possible I'm trying to expand America's territory. Maybe I'm trying to play the hero, so I can become president. Some have even suggested that since I'm a slave-owning Southerner, I may be trying to create a diversion to help the South secede in the upcoming Civil War. But if there's one thing that almost everyone can agree on, it's that I'm an idiot.
Yep.
I see.
Yeah.
But hold on, what'd you tell me to bring flowers for? Because, Pickett, they're pretty and I like them! There are also historians who believe that Harney and Pickett had no secret plan at all, and were not scheming masterminds, but simply hot-headed buffoons, genuinely outraged at the
I go with that
audacity of
one.
the British, and trying to
I
protect
go with that
American
one.
citizens. But the fact of the matter is, Pickett took the very controversial and extremely provocative act of landing American troops on disputed territory.
That's gonna
He set up his
cause
camp in a very
consequences.
exposed position and erected a very provocative sign proclaiming that
Brits
only
out now. American
apply
laws
on the
only.
island. It was almost like he was asking to be fired upon. Or, again, maybe he was just an idiot. When a British official sent to the island to get rid of the unruly American settlers now saw that there were American troops, he demanded they leave. He was obviously told to go suck an egg. When Douglas found out, he was enraged. To him, the American landing constituted an invasion. Harney sent a report back to the War Department in D.C., justifying his actions with exaggerated claims of British villainy. But he knew it would take 6 weeks to get there, and another 6 weeks for their reply to come back. For now, the situation was entirely in the hands of...
So he had... we'll lowball it to like 3... He hit like maybe 3 months to do what he wanted until he was ordered to stop doing
local military and government officials. And the ball was in the British court.
Hey, you know what's better than a $5,000 PC?
What? That begs the question, how long did it take a letter to get from
It's
Britain to Vancouver or Victoria?
Give you free stuff thanks to our friends at Honey.
That must have been a long time to
temperamental
that.
Governor Douglas and the powerful British Navy respond to the American provocation with force?
Yep.
Were Britain and America really about to go to war over the shooting of a pig? Well, if one man were to have his way, it's entirely possible they would. James Douglas had already had Americans force him out of Oregon. They had threatened his position in Victoria during the gold rush. Now they had invaded his island, and he had had it.
Why
It was time to turn
don't you think it's going to happen
the Royal
again?
Navy. You, Captain Hornby, go to the island and prevent any more Americans from landing. And take this
That
magistrate
name,
with you
though.
to arrest Captain Pickett. Use force if necessary. Just don't do anything to start a war. Wait, you want me to use force but not start a war? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that too much to ask, Princess? When Captain Hornby got to the island and saw that the American force there was even larger than expected, his concern grew. He sent word back to Douglas, who in response ordered even more ships to the island. And at this point, the naval officers were like, hey man, let's talk. They were concerned Douglas's escalation was leading them to war. And they convinced him it probably wasn't a terribly good idea to just go up to an American military captain with his armed men and say, hey bucko, you're under arrest. Please don't shoot me. Douglas gave in to prevent any hostilities. He canceled all orders and told the Navy, for now, to simply keep an eye on the Americans. He did send one more ship for good measure. Captain Pickett, now seeing the British ships with their guns aimed directly at his exposed camp, said, see Jeff, look at that. We're about to get blown to bits, all according to plan. Hang on. Oh crap, Jeff, we're about to get blown to bits! Run! Pickett hastily moved his camp from its very exposed position to another position, which, as it happened, was also very exposed. It probably won't surprise you to learn Pickett came dead last in his graduating class.
Yes.
Nearby
It
American
wouldn't. It really
British
wouldn't at
officials
all.
began showing up to ask Pickett what the heck he was even doing. Then, a bunch of tourists showed up, because a major war breaking out in their doorstep was the single most exciting thing to ever happen in any of their miserable frontier lives.
Really?
One Charles Griffin
That
was
real?
particularly
Oh,
unhappy.
legit, like
First his pig had been
legitimately
shot. Now
a tourist show. Really?
his sheep pastures were being trampled by soldiers and tourists alike.
Oh my
He complained to
goodness.
Governor Douglas, who was still pretty upset about the whole thing. Douglas felt British honor itself was at stake, so he decided that if American forces were allowed to be on the island, well then by golly, the British should be there too. It would be a joint military occupation. Upon hearing Douglas's new plan to land British troops on the
Both
island,
of these
Captain
generals
Hornby
are
decided to go
stupid.
speak with Pickett in person.
Both of them
After
are.
informing him of the plan, Pickett replied that if they dared
Or
land,
captains
he
or whatever.
would open fire. So there they were. The British had orders to land. The Americans had orders to prevent their landing. This was it. War. Over a small island in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
Over a pig and some potatoes. Over whether the US-Canada border looked like this or like this. It was stupid. Hold on. Like this or like this.
It's not even a difference. I can't even see it from the map. It's like it's like a slight color change. Just a smidge of a color change. And that was it.
It was stupid. Hold on. This is stupid. To heck with it. I'm not landing those troops. I'm not gonna be the one who starts a war. The captain decided not to follow Douglas's order. And good thing he didn't, because pretty soon after that, the leading British admiral in the entire Pacific region showed up. Rear Admiral Baines outranked Governor Douglas. When he heard of everything that had been going on, he was stunned. But when he heard that Hornby had refused Douglas's plan to land troops, Baines could have kissed him. Whether he did or not, history doesn't tell. But I like to think they did. The Rear Admiral cancelled all of Douglas's orders and instead pursued a policy of not interfering with the Americans until he could contact the British government. The Americans, not knowing the British no longer intended to land, had sent reinforcements and began fortifying. But even still, the British Navy did nothing. And finally, when word made it across the planet, informing the two governments of the ongoing crisis, everyone was shocked. Holy crap! Harney landed troops on disputed territory? Man, I hope the British don't find out about this. Buchanan? Oh crap! The British! Why are we getting reports of American troops on San Juan Island? Whoa. I don't know, man. Nothing to do with me. But you're the president. What? Breckenridge? Am I the president? Yes, sir. And
He doesn't even know he's the. He doesn't even know that he's the
we
president.
got a
What?
problem. It looks like the southern states are considering seceding, and we're headed for the biggest crisis in the history of the nation. And it's your job to fix it, sir. Sir? Oh no. Go away. Not the curtain again, Mr. President. I'm not here. Buchanan. Back in the Pacific Northwest, Harney was beginning to realize the government may not be terribly impressed with his reckless actions. So he began firing off even more aggressive letters
Oh, my
justifying what he had done.
goodness.
Tell him the British were sending bands of Indians to attack our men, and that they're big meanies with coal for hearts, and that they made me cry like a little girl. Wait, no, that makes me sound weak. They made me cry like a big girl. Yeah, that's it. When the president received Harney's new letters, his anxiety only grew stronger. Oh, crap. Hey, General Scott, please make this go away. Leave it to me.
That
Sir,
face,
General
though.
Winfield Scott was the commanding
Holy
general of the
crap.
entire U.S. Army. Well known for his negotiation skills, he was a veteran of the Mexican-American War, during which time he had to deal with General Harney's idiocy and insubordination. And he
Okay,
watched
so I was
as
thinking,
Harney got away
I was
with it
thinking,
all, thanks to
hopefully deal with this man.
his friends in high places. It's safe to say that Scott really did not like General Harney. By now, General Scott was racked with gout, and he was so big he had to be hoisted onto his ship in a basket. Nevertheless, he began the long
Really?
journey to the Pacific Northwest. Okay, everyone, get over here. Will somebody please tell me what the heck is going on? I'll tell you, General. It all started on one fateful day last summer. Spuddy? All right, you damn dirty pig. That's the final straw. You can't get away from me! Oh, look at that pig. Nowhere left to run, eh? I'm gonna enjoy this.
Lyman, if you spare my life, I grant you 3 wishes.
So you see, General, the pig wasn't even on his property when he shot it. Liar! He's lying to you, General. I'll tell you what really
He even
happened.
has a southern accent in that one. That's funny.
What a pleasant summer's afternoon here on my humble farm.
Oh, God.
It's just me.
Oh, give me a second, guys. Oh, wait. Oh, the video might cut out, actually. Alright. Give me a second. My phone's about to die. Okay. Everything is back to normal. The video they cut off, but I should be able to sync it back together, hopefully. So hopefully everything should be working again. But my phone almost died. It was like, I don't know, it was like, I think 5%. I was thinking it could last a little bit longer, but I didn't think it could. So it lasted pretty long, though, I'll say. It was like 18 when we began. So let's go and continue the video, though.
Me and my beloved potatoes. I'm so happy. Say, Lyman, them some nice spuds you got there. Would be a shame if
The
somebody
outfit the pig is in
ate
there.
them. No, not again, you beast! Leave my potatoes alone! Yeah, I'm gonna eat them, Lyman. I'll eat them, and then I'm gonna eat you. Stay back! I'll shoot! Go ahead, punk. Make my day. Shoot me! Shoot me! He made me do it! He made me do it! So you're telling me you guys nearly started a war with the strongest naval power in the world over the shooting of a pig? Yeah, now he's starting to get it. Not only the pig, sir. The British then threatened to arrest this poor, pure American soul. Thank you, General. Shut up. I don't care about you.
My
Okay,
goodness.
I've made up my mind. You're an idiot. 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 You guys are fine. And you two are the most mind-numbing idiot. You're an idiot. You guys are fine.
like you guys are fine. You guys actually didn't want to start a war.
And you two are the most mind-numbingly brain-dead ding-dongs I've ever encountered in all my life. And I'll see you in my office. Okay, Harney, listen. I cut a deal with the Brits. Here's how it's gonna be. Both sides will maintain a small force on the island for a joint military occupation until our two governments can decide who owns the island. Now, the only way they'd agree to that is if Pickett is removed from command, so I'm replacing him with Captain Hunt here. Now, Harney, listen to me. Do not, under any circumstances, put Pickett back on that island, okay? I mean it, Harney. Do not order Pickett back onto the island.
He's gonna order
Understood?
Pickett back on the
Yes,
island,
sir.
isn't he?
Good. I'll see you globos later. Is he gone? I think so. Good. Hunt, you're fired. Pickett, you're going back on the island. All right, you psychopath. I've been waiting years for this. I hate you. I've always hated you. Harney had not only ordered Pickett back onto the island, but his department even notified the British that it did not recognize the joint occupation settlement. While everyone else had decided on peace,
I was wondering what's stepping on.
appeared to still be threatening war. Neither
Oh my goodness! Can you like
What?
not fire
You
the
haven't
guy?
made
Is that
world
is that not how the military works?
Of warships yet?
Most of this
Why
time.
the hell not?
Needless to say, a
He's
furious
so don't
Winfield
give me a
Scott
headache at
soon
this
removed him
point.
from command and sent him elsewhere. In Harney's absence, the joint occupation went ahead, and the troops actually got along together
Huh,
quite
really?
well. The British
Wow.
attended 4th of July celebrations at the American camp, while the Americans visited the British for Queen Victoria's birthday.
Oh wow!
Pickett became good friends
is really
with his
nice.
British counterpart. War, it seemed, had been avoided, thanks largely to the level-headed actions of the Royal Navy and General Winfield Scott. Of
Oh.
course, the islands were still in dispute, and the question
Man, I
of
mean,
who
like-
exactly owned them still had to be answered. That answer would have to wait, because while San Juan was at peace, the nation was tearing itself apart.
Yeah,
When
the
Civil
American
War
War,
broke out
or
in
the Civil War.
1861, the issue of San Juan just wasn't that important. Harney, despite being a Southerner, remained in the U.S. Army, but was eventually removed from command at St. Louis when his loyalty to the Union came under suspicion.
Yeah.
More famously, Captain Pickett a native Virginian, went on to become a Confederate general. Pickett's charge at the Battle of Gettysburg remains one of the most famous moments of the entire war and marked a major turning point. U.S. relations with Britain actually soured during the war. The British, missing their supply of southern cotton, initially looked like they may intervene on the side of the Confederacy. There was the Trent Affair, when Confederate diplomats were discovered and arrested on a British mail steamer. And then there were the British-built ships sold to the Confederacy that wreaked havoc on northern commerce. When the Civil War ended, furious American politicians called on the British to pay reparations. And by now, a long list of hot issues existed between
British build color ships, definition of neutrality in war, Grand Banks fishing. What? Finland raids again? Okay. Transition. I can't see that. All I see is transit of goods.
Between them. And yes, on that list remained, 12 years later, still the issue of who owned these gosh darn islands. That issue, it was finally agreed, would be submitted to international arbitration. The Empire of Germany would decide, with the British and Americans presenting arguments. The American argument was reportedly presented with a little more pizzazz, a little more zing. And in the end, when the Germans made their decision, they awarded the San Juan Islands to the United States.
Okay.
When an aging Douglas heard the news, he said that there was no possible way the British argument had been presented correctly. But that was that. The British conceded. And on the 25th of November, 1872, the last British troops left the island. As the Americans entered the British camp to raise their flag, they found that the British had removed the flagpole. One last up yours to Uncle Sam. By this time, Charles Griffin had already left the island,
that's a pretty good one right there, though.
Eventually sold their sheep farm. And so, there you have it. A dangerous situation that almost brought two great powers to war, triggered by the shooting of a pig. But thanks to more level-headed minds and an eagerness for peace and cooperation, conflict
those level-headed minds, we'd probably have a different, way different United States, bro.
Just a pig. But how different could things have been?
Very
what
different.
If the British had attempted to arrest Pickett? What if they had landed troops? Could the two sides have actually gone to war?
Yeah,
could
most likely
America have invaded Canada? Could it, perhaps, still invade Canada? Think about it. Why not? We have the manpower. We have the...
Oh my... You can't... Really, bro? Really?
Have the arms. It's our manifest destiny. Picture a future where American Mounties wear red, white, and blue and hail the stars and stripes, where Wayne Gretzky would wave the American flag every 4th of July in the streets of Montreal. Maple syrup, the greatest American food. Banff, the greatest American national park. One united nation under the leadership of our glorious president, Drake. No longer shall we tolerate our smug neighbors to the north with their affordable insulin and endless comments complaining that I don't talk about Canada enough in my videos. That's right, Canadians. Watch your backs. Sleep with one eye open tonight because Biden's coming, baby.
Okay, until he pulled out that car, I could hold it in. But
this time, he's coming with a vengeance!
I swear to God, if this does happen, if this really does happen, I'm probably gonna cry. Either from pure laughter or pure sadness. But that was a good one, Oversimplified. That was a good one. No further ado, I bid you guys a good day. That's the end of the video. I really enjoyed this one, and probably makes a new one. I'm going to react to it. Alright, see you guys then. Bye.